Hey everyone, it is week 12. It's Tuesday, April 13th, and I just wanted to check in. I've gotten some emails about Essay 4, and I wanted to say a few words about it, hopefully clarify any questions folks may be having. Also, yesterday was the last day to drop a class with a W. I think I've talked about that in a previous video, and so hopefully no one felt like they needed to drop this class. But if you have questions about, if you dropped another class and you have questions about what that means, having a W, you can reach out to someone in advising or counseling who can sort of explain that. So that was a kind of a deadline for the semester for yesterday. But again, what I really want to talk about is Essay 4. So with this paper, it's the last one of the semester, it's the last one of the class. It's the longest at 5 pages, and it must have a works cited page, and it must follow all of the MLA guidelines for the formatting of the paper and the citations. So a big piece of academic writing, I think everyone realizes, is integrating sources into your work. So you have a prompt that's asking a question of some sort. You, the writer, come up with your response, right? Your position, your opinion about the subject, and that's your thesis statement, and that's what you're trying to prove to your reader. So you need to support your thesis, you need to support your position with evidence, and the evidence is coming largely from other sources, right? So what have other people said about this topic? And we then integrate those sources either by quoting, paraphrasing, or summarizing, and then of course by citing them. Right, you have to tell your reader who's the source for that information, who's the author of that information. The new piece with this essay is also using one of the library's databases. EBSCO is probably the easiest or the most popular, I should say, database to use, and so you might want to go there to find a source to use in your paper. But let's take a minute and look here at this question. So here's the question, right? In what ways does our identity, that is how we see ourselves, as well as how others may see us, impact our ability to be successful? Another way to ask that question is, do you think that our identity has an impact on our ability to be successful? Or do you think our identity plays a role in our ability to achieve success? So identity, the two important words here are identity and success, right? Those are key. Is there a connection there? That's what this question is asking. Do you think that there's any connection, any relationship between who we are, our identity, how others see us, right, and success, our ability to be successful? That's huge. I mean, you could write books on that subject, and you're only writing 5 pages, okay? And so you want to think about, well, first, what's identity, right? What does Dr. S mean about identity? Identity can be external. It could be our external features, our race, gender, age, perhaps ethnicity, religion might be identifiable based on, clothing that we wear, etc. So, there's that, right? Perhaps our if not our sexual orientation, perhaps our gender identity might be something that's external. So we've got that, but then some people might also qualify internal traits and characteristics as part of someone's identity, right? So the beliefs that a person has, the beliefs that they likely get, we wrote a paper earlier about cultural beliefs, traditions, legacies, right? Because Gladwell talks about that extensively in his book, right? About how the culture of which we are a part, our families, we grow up in families, whether chosen or biological, and we learn from a small age from our families about cultural values and beliefs, right? And that becomes part of our identity as well. So there could be 2 parts, internal and external, right? So first you want to decide, well, what are you talking about? When you talk to your reader about identity and success, what does identity mean to you? You're the writer, you have to define that first. And there's no right or wrong. These are just your ideas, right? I might not agree with you. A reader might disagree with you. That's fine. But that doesn't make a paper, any less effective, right? So that's the identity piece. So think about that. Okay, well, what's identity? Oh, identity is this. I'm going to define it as this. And then success. Well, what does that mean? The ability to be successful. Successful overall in life, right? Successful in a particular aspect of life? Are we talking about personal fulfillment? Are we talking about professional success? If so, are we talking about in a particular field or area? Are we talking about in education? Are you talking about identity and success in being a college student, perhaps? Are you talking about identity and success at owning your own business, running for public office, being in entertainment industry or in athletics, professional athletics, right? Professional sports. So you see, there's huge, right? Identity is huge. Being successful is huge. You have so much room here to really hone in on something that you can write about in 5 pages, right? So that's what you need to, today's Tuesday, the rough draft is due Sunday. If you haven't already thought about this, this is what you need to start thinking about, right? So define identity. How are you taking up this idea of identity in your paper, and how are you defining success in your paper? And for every one of you, that could be different, right? Those parameters that's up for you to decide as the writer here. So maybe you want to look at how gender identity impacts the ability to be successful, professionally, being taken as a professional, in the corporate world or something like that, right? I mean, you should pick something that interests you, that you have some thoughts about, and you've weighed in on this a little bit. You've thought about this in the assignment that was due last week. And so I gave some feedback there. I think a lot of people asked very interesting questions, have interesting ideas there. The next piece now is to do some research, right? So we have, of course, the text that we read in this class: Greenstreet, Anwar, Ta-Nehisi Coates, obviously Gladwell. So bell hooks, if applicable. So now to go to do some research. As I say here, you're using the databases. So to get to the databases, if we actually go, just go back to modules here, bear with me. We have this module here that Nikki Karam is our course librarian. You can post questions to her here. You can also email her. It doesn't have to be Nikki. You can reach out to any one of the librarians at the college. They're all experts at research. But definitely look through the shows how to, she explains how to access the databases. We're all off campus at this point, so no one's, at one of the regional centers or main campus at the, at a computer there. Everyone's at home. So she also includes a video explaining and then a step-by-step guide with screenshots. So do look through these materials. Just go back here. When you first get to, again, you can email Nikki here. This chat, as you can see, Monday, Thursday, 8 to 8, Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 10 to 3. Librarians, I noticed these are the fall hours, but I think spring are the same. You can chat. You can do through the computer, chatting with one of the librarians. It's not a machine, it's not a robot, it's an actual librarian. So there are a lot of different ways that you can get to our librarians to find help. So when you look for, I'll go back to the assignment. So again, what you're doing on your own first, right? Or maybe at the same time, but you're thinking about what is identity? How am I defining that? And success, how am I defining that? And once you kind of hone in on that, do you think that identity plays a role in our ability to be successful? Okay. Then you can be, think about the sources that we read, the text that we read, and then you can start to do some research. Or again, as I say, you could do these all at the same time. But hopefully this gives a little bit more of an explanation about what this paper is about. Again, there's no right or wrong answer to this question. Personally, I mean, if I were writing this paper, I would say that yes, our identity, I think that a person's identity does play a role in their ability to be successful in this country, in the United States. That's just my opinion. You don't have to have the same opinion, but that would be my opinion. Um, and I think that, you know, racial identity in particular is of the utmost importance in this country in terms of how people are perceived and their um, uh, you know, their ability to achieve is perceived. And I think it does. As a teacher, obviously I'm very interested in education, so I would, if I was writing this paper, I would probably be looking at, you know, from within an education, being successful in terms of education. But again, that's just me. You know, however you want to explain for your reader what is identity, internal versus external, maybe both. Remember though, you only have 5 pages. You're not writing a book, so you have to be pretty focused. And then what does it mean to be, you know, how successful? What is that even mean? So you're really going to have to hold your reader's hand, okay? And I'm your reader. You know, these aren't necessarily being shared with others, right? But you pretend you're just writing not just for me. You're writing for just kind of some unknown readers, other college people, students, faculty. And you have to really, yeah, guide your reader. Hold their hand, explain thoroughly what it is you're talking about, what your position is, right? And then start weaving in those sources. Start integrating those sources, okay? Reach out to Nikki or any librarian if you have questions. Feel free to share this video. Nikki can see this video because she is our course librarian. But feel free to share this if they ask what the paper is about. And you know, hope you can summarize what I'm saying here, or in other words, any other way, you know, share with them what I'm saying here. But that's what this paper is getting at. The rough draft is due Sunday, along with, I'll just show you quickly here, a self-review. And the questions for the self-review, they may look familiar. My directions here are I would copy and paste these questions into a Word document, okay, and then answer them, and then save that file. And then what you're uploading is the full rough draft and your answers to these 6 questions. You can leave the question. You could copy and paste, leave the question, and then put your answer underneath. And these may look familiar because I just altered them. They were when you did the peer review. You're not doing a peer review for this one, you're doing a self-review, right? So you're writing your draft, maybe let it sit for a day or a couple hours or something, and then go in and then answer these questions. So these questions will help you do your own first set of review of your rough draft. Okay, so if you have questions, let me know. Again, both the rough draft and the review, self-review are due this week, this Sunday. If you think you need more time, let me know about that as well. The last day of class is Monday, April 26th, so we are moving right along. The other thing about this paper is that there is no possibility to revise after you submit it. So whereas with the first 3 papers you could revise and attempt a higher grade if you got, you know, say like less than a B, with this paper there isn't time, so you won't be able to revise it, excuse me. Okay. This video was kind of long. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you had questions about the assignment, hopefully this cleared things up. If not, please just let me know. I'm happy to try to explain in another way. But again, the main question that you need to answer is, do you think our identity plays a role in our ability to be successful? Okay, so I'm curious to hear what you all think. And I look forward to seeing your drafts and your self-review, and then I look forward to seeing the final papers, the final drafts. But yes, please reach out if you have questions. Please, you know, continue to practice self-care. I hope you all and your families all are doing well. The news continues to be troubling in many ways in this country, and you know, I'm just very proud of all of you. I'm thinking of all of you, even though I'm not seeing you, and I hope you're all doing well. So please reach out if you have questions or thoughts or anything, okay? All right, have a good rest of the week. Bye-bye.